Hey guys, dive store owners, divers, dive masters, instructors, all you guys out there that enjoy this wonderful sport. Anyway, what I want to talk about briefly today is displays, dive store displays. We've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about branding and service centers and rentals and all that. Dive store displays. Hey, this dive store is fantastic. Beautiful cases, well lit, clean floors. It's a good example of a modern dive store the way it ought to be. People come in today, they're going to pay a lot of money for scuba gear. It's not expensive. It's not an expensive sport per se, but it's not inexpensive. They're going to pay. They want good products. They want a nice, clean, professional looking store. There are a lot of ways to do that. There is a great display right here behind me. I'm going to tell you why this is a great display. First of all, this is a good old-fashioned slat wall. Yeah, it's been around a long time. We use a lot of slat wall. Slat wall replaced pegboard. Maybe some of you remember old dive stores had pegboard. A lot of retail stores. Pegboard all around the store and the little hooks on it, and you hung things on the hooks. Sometimes it worked really well. Most of the times it didn't. But anyway, that's what we had. And then eventually the slat wall stuff came out. It was great. We used it at our displays at the Sportsman's Show, our displays at the CNE, all of our, and in the store as well. The slat wall was great. Now this particular slat wall I want to point out, and this is really for you folks in the business, in the profession, in the industry. This particular slat wall has a couple of benefits. First of all, it has a metal rail. And I mention that only because from my own experience, if you put too much weight on the other style, the older style, the all wood slat wall, it tends to break. This wood is usually a composite wood. It's not a solid piece of wood. It's, fiberboard stuff. And if you put too much weight on here, it tends to break fairly easily. We found it out the hard way. And it's not cheap, this stuff. To replace this, it costs a bit of money. So this aluminum rail, I guarantee you it costs a lot more in the beginning, but you'd be glad you had that. Plus, gosh, it looks great. Look at the really nice on there. And you can buy all kinds of racks, hooks and racks and tray. The masks look great. Another nice thing that this dive store has done, makes a lot of sense. You got your snorkels. Wow, lots of snorkels. Biggest problem here is choosing which color, right? It was easy when I had a dive store, my first dive store back in the 60s. You like black? Good. And all the masks as well, and they have different hooks and the prices, and I see that they're also using branding. Another one of my tips, if you go back in our LDS Pro tips, you see there's a couple on branding. There it is right there. The dive store mask called the Reveal. Dive source mask is called the Reveal, but it's a dive store mask. That's branding. That's great. That's really, really good. What really caught my eye were two things. First of all, right here are the accessories that you would want to purchase, to have, if you just bought a mask. That makes sense at all? Of course it makes sense. So if you have your masks here, and you have the mask accessories, your fog off, you still call it fog off? Defog? No? And, and your straps and your clips way over there, guess what? They're not going to sell. But if you have your masks here, and right here you have your mask cleaner and your mask defog, hey, oh, I better have one. Makes a lot of sense. So get like products together. In other words, here's the mask accessories. Here's the mask that you want to purchase. You need these accessories. Makes a lot of sense. That's the first thing I liked about it. The second thing is the fins. It has always been a problem for dive store owners to display fins. We used to build specially custom-made racks for fins because there was nothing available. A rack, and it had a slope on it and a little piece of wood, and you'd lay the fin in there and all the way along. Oh, what a nuisance. Fins were always a problem to display. Look here. Especially with this aluminum rail slat wall. So the weight of the fins on this are not going to hurt the slat wall. And it's just that simple. There's a hook on there, you take the fin off. What do you think of that, sir? Oh yes, Kevin, I know you like pink. There you go, it's a beautiful, now off you go, and you put it back in. So there's one fin, different colors, different sizes. Oh, you like the ones with the spring straps. There they are. They lift right off just like that. And there they are, Kevin again, see? So this is a wonderful display for the fins. Something to keep in mind. Now, the second problem, which I just mentioned, with fins is not just displaying them. Where do you store the extras? These are the fins that we have for sale. Well, you want this one in blue and an extra large. Certainly, sir, we have that in stock. where. You don't want to leave the customer there unnecessarily. So if your stock is way back there in the stock room, you got to go back, you got to go through them all, they're in boxes, they're laying on, what a nuisance. Can I get it? Oh, there we go. Hang on just 1 minute, sir, I'll get that fin for you. Extra large and blue, there you go. Unbelievable, look at that. Extra mass are stored right here. They're directly behind the masts on the front wall, and the extra fins for that particular display are right there. Can't beat it. And that's a narrow area in there, 2.5 to 3 feet wide, and all the fins, top to bottom, are displayed. What about that for a great idea? It looks good, clean, practical, keeps the customer happy. How can you go wrong? Just a couple of ideas, and these were not necessarily my ideas. We had these before, but this is a great idea. Think it over. See if it wouldn't work for you and help you out a little bit too with some of your issues. That's what I'm here for, trying to help you to have a better dive store so you have a better business. Talk to you soon. Alec Peirce.